Welcome to this quick guide on re-imaging any KC-based brain with the latest image that includes the KC Brain Manager. That includes the KC Brainware 5, KC Brainware 25, as well as the KC Brainware 50. Also, the KC Virtual Brain 1 and KC Virtual Brain 5. Re-imaging your brains will take you from having a login prompt and no web page to a dedicated web page to manage your virtual brains, adding additional functionality by easily allowing you to set static IPs, configure NTP settings, and manage the device in general. We do require that you open a case with customer service, and they'll provide a link to the image file, as well as an additional step-by-step how-to document that can be followed. After downloading the ISO image using the link provided by customer service, the next tool that you will need is going to be Balena Etcher, which you can download from their website. They have it available for all major OSs. So just pick your preference and grab that. Once that is downloaded, we will choose the ISO file that's been downloaded. Then click on Select Target. Certainly recommend using a newer USB 3 one. And then click Flash. You may need to enter your system password to do that. That process will take around 3 to 4 minutes. Once completed, it will validate the bootable USB against the ISO file to make sure that it was created correctly. Once this is completed, you can remove the USB stick from your machine and follow the next steps. For the next part of the process, you will need a keyboard and mouse, and you will need to have a monitor to connect your brain device to. One of the key requirements when re-imaging a KC-based brain is that the network connection has to be connected, powered up while pressing delete in order to enter the BIOS. Depending on the brain that you're re-imaging, there will be a BIOS password required. This will be documented in the document that customer service will share as well. And we'll just go through and boot from the USB that I just created. That'll boot up into a grub prompt, and we're going to hit enter on install Kragma box, or you could just let it time out. It's about a 3-second timeout. That'll then start the process, which I will speed up. As part of the process, we will also back up your existing license files and restore them at the end. So there's no need to have any additional steps. There is a chance that if you didn't wait long enough, or if the process is interrupted, that the licenses won't be backed up, in which case customer service can provide new licenses for you. The device will reboot once during this process. It's not completed by the time it reboots. Please leave it until you see Cloud Init target reached target. At that point, it is then complete. So when it reboots, just leave it be. It's still busy. Once we have reached this stage where the prompt says reached target Cloud Init, we can reboot the brain. I've done that just by pressing the button. And we can then power it back on again. The re-imaging process is completed once you've manually rebooted the brain and you see a login prompt. The penultimate step in this process is to install the brain services. Now, for this, the brain will need to be connected to a network with internet connectivity as we pull the latest version from the cloud during this process. So to do that, we'll identify the brain's IP address either by doing an IP scan, or we can plug it into a monitor and we'll see the IP address on the bottom of the login prompt. I've just entered that into my web browser, and then I'll log in with the default username and password, which is Kramer and Kramer, all lowercase. And then we'll navigate to the services tab where we'll get a warning that services are missing. We'll simply click on install. That'll go and grab the latest version from the cloud and start the brain processes based on the number of licenses that are present on the box. Once that's done, we can then go to the brain info page, and I typically just monitor one of the brains. What you'll notice is any brains that were provisioned before the reimaging process, most of the time, will simply grab whatever it was provisioned to. In some instances, you may need to simply republish it, but the provisioning association will remain through the imaging process. Again, another reason for it to be online to grab that space. You can also provision and publish offline once this piece is completed. Once the brain enters an active online state, we can then proceed to the final step of the process, and that is to simply restart your touch panels to make sure that it reconnects to the brain correctly. If you have reimaged one of the early KC Virtual Brain 1s or Virtual Brain 5s, just a quick gotcha. After the brain imaging process, your brains would have shifted back to the original starting point of 8,000, 8,001, 8,002, 8,003, and 8,004 for the fifth brain. So if you reimage from a KC virtual brain, you would need to just reconfigure your touch panels to connect to the correct brain. Thank you for watching.